All right, so finding our comfortable seat. Again, as we talked about, just really thinking about each breath and movement today as a way of sending that energy of peace and healing, kindness and compassion um, out both for ourselves and into the world, um, honoring ourselves where we are with each movement. And as Rayetta said so wisely, stepping back when things are hard instead of trying to push through. Let's begin rubbing the palms of our hands together, bringing focus and energy into the palms. And taking the fingertips and gently brushing the forehead, temples, and cheeks, brushing away any worries or expectations. Allowing ourselves to be present here in this moment. Bring the fingertips to the eyes, palms to the cheeks, turning your attention inward. And take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. When you're ready, float your hands down, either keeping your eyes closed or gazing softly downward. Lift the heart with each inhaling breath. Sitting bones sinking toward the earth with each exhale. We'll tune in with 3 ohms. Feel free to join in or just absorb the vibrations. Take another deep breath in. Take a moment to absorb the vibrations of the mantra as it connects us all as one. And allow yourself to settle here this Saturday morning. Set an intention for your practice, something you'd like to nurture or cultivate within yourself. Bringing your awareness back to the breath. Allow the belly to soften and expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly toward the back. Follow your body's rhythm. expanding on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly and open the ribs, reaching them out to the sides. And as you exhale, contract the belly and relax the ribs. Continue following your body's rhythm. With your next inhale, expand the belly, open the ribs, and lift the chest, creating space for your heart. And as you exhale, contract, relax, and lower. Continue this full deep breath, expanding your lungs in all directions with each inhale. Completely releasing the breath with each exhale. As you come to your next exhaling breath, envision dropping a grounding cord from your tailbone down through the floor of your home all the way to the earth. Drawing up with your inhale energy from the earth. Breathing it all the way up your spine, clearing each chakra as you go. Up to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, gently drop down to the heart center, resting there with your out breath. Inhale back to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, clearing the chakras, allowing the breath to slide down the spine, releasing anything no longer needed through that grounding cord to the earth. Again, breathing in whatever you need from the earth, drawing it up all the way to the crown of the head. Exhale, resting back at the heart center. Inhale up to the crown of the head, feeling the connection with the sky. And exhale, releasing all the way down the spine. Letting anything that no longer serves you return to the earth to be recycled. And follow this breath a couple more times. Or find a place to rest your breath that feels appropriate for you in this moment. And after your next exhale, returning to your natural breath. Noticing if your mind feels tethered or your body feels tethered to things outside of yourself at this moment. And imagine yourself gently disconnecting from those things, allowing them to be as they are, where they are, and allowing yourself to be in this moment, in this space. Bringing your awareness to your right hand, allowing the tips of the thumb and pointer finger to come together. Bring those fingertips to your heart center. Turning your attention deeper inward toward your heart, looking within for your inner light and your inner joy. As you find that connection with the light within you, allow its warm glow to flow on the breath throughout your entire body. As you find that connection with your inner joy, allow it to radiate up onto your face in a smile. And breathe it out into the space around you, like a gentle blanket, comforting you and bringing you peace. When you're ready, you can float your hand down, gently open your eyes. And if you would like to switch your legs or change positions, please go ahead and do that. With your next inhaling breath, let's scrunch the shoulders up by our ears. And as you exhale, press the shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Let's bring the hands in front of the chest, palms facing down. Tuck the shoulder blades back and down. Lift the heart. Gently strengthening the muscles around the scapula. Noticing if one side feels a little tighter or looser than the other. And seeing if you can find a little balance in the strength around each shoulder blade. Then gently pressing the elbows back toward each other, lifting the heart a little more. Think about squeezing the center of the shoulder blades toward each other, bringing out any tension. Breathing into the heart. Then opening the arms wide, turning the palms up. Lift the heart a little more if that feels okay, and draw the shoulder blades down, drawing the lower corners of the shoulder blades toward each other. If it feels okay, you can flex the wrists, pressing through the palms, breathing into the heart. It can be hard to allow our heart to be so wide open in challenging times. Opening our hearts allows us to remember to act from a space of love rather than fear. Let's bring our arms forward, crossing the right over the left, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or left hand around the right wrist, or hands at the shoulders. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing into the upper back. Squeezing the arms together or pressing the elbows away as that feels okay. Softening the barriers at the back of the heart through our breath. If it feels okay, you can begin to lower and lift the elbows, extending the stretch around the shoulders. And with your next inhaling breath, lift the elbows up a little higher, gently arching if that feels okay. And as you exhale, round, dropping the chin, letting the weight of the arms open the back, being careful of the low back. And with your next inhale, we'll lift up tall. Let's release the hands, extending the right arm out, bringing the left hand to the upper right arm. Reaching the arm across, spreading the fingers wide as much as feels okay. And if it feels okay for your neck, turning your chin over your left shoulder. Nope, right shoulder. Sorry. And with your next inhale, come back to the center. We'll bring the left hand to the right elbow, lifting that right arm up by the ear and just dropping the right hand to pat on our back gently. Reaching up through the right elbow. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, gently pulling that arm behind the head. Opening through the side body, through the armpit and the upper arm. And then with your next inhale, we'll release the hands, open wide, tucking those shoulder blades, noticing the difference in the right and the left shoulders. Breathing into our hearts, offering ourselves compassion and kindness for whatever we're feeling in this moment. And let's bring the arms in front, crossing the left over the right this time, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or right hand around the left wrist, or hands at the shoulders. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Softening the jaw, breathing into the upper back. Softening the back of the heart. If it feels okay, you can begin to lower and lift the elbows, extending the stretch around the shoulders. And then with your next inhale, if it feels okay, lifting the elbows a little higher. And exhale, round. Softening the back of the neck. Releasing through the upper back, being careful of the low back. And with the next inhale, coming back to center. We'll release the hands, bringing the right hand to the left upper arm, stretching that left arm across the front of the body, spreading the fingers wide as much as feels okay. And if it feels okay for your neck, turning your chin over the left shoulder. Hold and breathe. With your next inhale, bringing the head back to the center, sliding the hand to the elbow, lifting that left arm up beside the ear and dropping the hand to the low or to the upper back. Can stay here, pressing that left elbow up toward the sky or gently pulling the hand behind the arm behind the head. And with your next inhale, we'll release the arms. Let's make some circles with the shoulders. And then the opposite direction. And then let's make some circles with our wrists. And reverse those directions, or those circles. And we'll press the palms out in front of us, just as far as feels okay. Think about pressing through the palms, and then tucking the hands down, just following your breath. And then we'll bring the hands to the heart, interlacing the fingers. Press the palms out in front. Roll the shoulders forward, round the spine, drop the chin. With your next inhale, lift the palms up and back. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. This time as you exhale, leave the palms up and let the chin drop toward the chest. Softening the elbows, we'll roll the shoulder blades back toward each other, gently squeezing the upper corners of the shoulder blades together. Wringing out any tension across the shoulders and into the neck. Releasing the jaw and the back of the neck a little more if it feels okay. And then if it feels okay for the elbows and shoulders, you can press the palms up a little higher. With your next inhale, lift the chin. And as you exhale, let's bring the hands behind the head, kind of resting the hands in those interlaced, or the head in those interlaced fingers. Inhale the spine tall. And as you exhale, gently twist toward the right, just as far as feels okay. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist toward the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Let's do once more on each side, following your breath. And then with your next exhale, you can float the hands down and take a breath in and out. And let's extend the legs out in front of us. Now let's warm up our knees a little after sitting so much. So we'll take hold either behind the thigh or you can grab in front of the knee. Just bringing the knee in and out. And in and out. And then we'll lower that right leg down, taking hold underneath the left. Again, bringing it in and out. And lowering the leg down. And let's flex the feet, lengthening the spine tall, shoulders back and down. Hands can rest on the legs or the floor, or even come back a little by the hips, helping the spine lift tall. Engaging the quadriceps and the thighs by drawing the kneecaps up. We'll gently lift the heels off the floor if that feels okay. Can always work with one leg and then the other as well, developing that strength. Noticing if the toes or the feet want to roll out or in, and trying to find that balance with the inner and outer quads of having the knees and the toes both pointing up toward the ceiling. And with your next exhale, we'll soften the legs. Inhale the arms up over the head, and exhale, gently folding forward, hands on the legs, floor, or feet. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, softening. Following the breath, lengthening, pressing the sitting bones back behind you. Softening, releasing around any tightness or tension in the low back or the back of the legs, perhaps even around the hips. Noticing where you're holding on and seeing if you can soften even around the edges of it, just a little. If you're feeling any pain, pulling back, lifting up a little, allowing your body to be where it is in this moment without judgment. And with your next inhale, lifting up tall, we'll bring the hands behind the hips, fingertips facing the hips. And let's go ahead and bend the knees, placing the feet hip width apart. Take off my socks so I don't slip. Bending those elbows with your next inhale, pressing into the feet and hands, lift the hips high. As you exhale, slowly lower down and hover if that feels okay. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. If it feels okay, you can hold and breathe or continue coming up and down or rest, listening to what your body needs right now. And then gently lowering down. We'll shake out those wrists. Let's extend our legs in front of us. If it doesn't feel good to do this roll back with the legs extended, go ahead and bend the knees. I did a class with a different teacher the other day, and it was an interesting, he had us roll back from a leg extended position, and I thought it was interesting. It kind of gave a nice spinal adjustment for me, so I kind of liked it. So we'll see if you like it or not. Like, placing the fingertips on the chest, round those shoulders in toward the fingers, dropping the chin. You're going to engage your belly muscles and then gently roll back. So again, bending the knees if you need to help you feel more stable. And then letting the arms rest alongside the body. Tuck the shoulders under, gently scanning up the body, noticing any parts that feel tired, achy, or sore. Honoring yourself and your body by listening to its messages. Pushing yourself to your edge, but not beyond it. Remembering that each time you do yoga, your body is a little bit different. Let's bend the right leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Lengthen through the neck, soften around the hip. Keeping the left hand on the knee, right arm falls out to the side, palm facing down. And as you exhale, gently twist over the left side of the body. Right hip comes off of the mat, foot comes across toward the floor. Vision toward the right arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Soften around the hip and allow the spine to ease into the twist. With your next inhaling breath, come back to the center. Extending the leg up toward the sky, take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. And then begin to make slow, gentle circles, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. Reversing the circles. Reaching through the heel. Gently draw the belly muscles down toward the back, drawing the leg toward the torso just as far as feels okay. You can stay here, or if it feels okay with your next exhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down or rest. Reaching through the heel, belly muscles are strong. Neck is nice and long. Can stay here, or if it feels okay, flexing the left foot, lifting it gently off the floor. And if you'd like, you can release the hands from the leg. Gently lowering the left leg. With your next inhale, lower the head and chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower the right leg. Once you reach the floor, take a deep breath in and out. Let's bend the left knee, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Tucking the shoulders under, lengthening through the neck, softening around the hip. Keeping the right hand on the knee, allow the left arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down. And as you exhale, gently twist over the right side of the body. Left hip comes off of the mat, foot comes across the floor or toward the floor. Vision toward the left arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around the hip, easing the spine into the twist. With your next inhaling breath, come back to the center, extending the leg up toward the sky. Take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. Now begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reversing the circles. Reaching through the heel, engaging the belly muscles, drawing them down toward the back. You can draw the leg toward the body just as far as feels okay. Stay here, engaging those abdominal muscles, or if it feels okay with your next exhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down, reaching through the heel. Belly muscles draw down. Neck is nice and long. And stay here, or if you'd like, you can flex the right foot, gently lift it off of the floor. And if you'd like, you can release the hands. Let's lower the right leg with your next inhale. Lower the head and chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower the left leg. Once you reach the floor, take a deep breath in and out. Let's bend the knees, placing the feet on the mat, about hip width apart. Tucking our shoulders under, we'll rest our arms alongside the body with the palms facing down, working with bridge pose. Lifting our toes, spreading them wide, lowering them down, creating one end of our bridge. Tucking the shoulders back and down, connecting to the mat, creating the other end of our bridge. Rooting into the feet and shoulders with your next inhaling breath. Scoop the pelvis and gently begin to roll the spine up, one vertebrae at a time, pressing the hips up high, keeping the vision toward the ceiling to protect the neck. And as you exhale, gently roll the spine down, keeping the knees parallel to each other. Inhale, scoop and lift. Exhale, gently lower. Once more, scoop and lift. This time, if it feels okay, you can hold and breathe, keeping the hips high. Chin gently away from the chest with the vision toward the sky. If you'd like to continue coming up and down or rest, please listen to your body. And if you'd like to add a heart opener, you can roll the shoulders under, interlace the fingers, or hold a strap in the hands, keeping the elbows bent or extending the arms out if that feels okay for the elbows and shoulders. Rooting through the feet and shoulders, pressing high through the hips, breathing into the heart. And gently releasing the hands or strap, rolling the shoulders out, and gently rolling the spine down. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, tuck the pelvis, pressing the low back into the mat. Belly muscles draw down. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. And let the breath go. Let's bring the knees over the torso, hugging them in toward the chest as far as feels okay. Lengthening through the neck, breathing into the low belly. From here, you can either roll to your right side, pressing up with your hands, or slip your hands behind your knees, kick your feet over your head, and gently rock up. We'll come forward onto our hands and knees. If you'd like to add a blanket underneath the knees for a little extra padding, please do that. Bringing the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. If it's bothering your hands or wrists at all, you can come onto forearms as well, or even placing blocks underneath the hands with the fingers hanging off of the ends as an alternative. Soften the elbows, shoulders back and down, head extends out from the spine. Draw the belly muscles up toward the back, feeling that transverse abdominis muscle engage deep within the core. And with your next inhale, we'll lift the tailbone, drop the spine, lift the chin. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, drop the chin. Inhale, lifting, spine follows. Exhale, rounding. Follow your breath. Releasing the front and the back of the spine. Softening the elbows as you move through, seeing how much movement you can get in the spine. And with your next exhale, come back to table pose. Softening the elbows, head extends out. With your next inhaling breath, let's sweep the right arm up toward the sky. And then as you exhale, we'll slide down, bringing that right hand underneath the left arm, threading the needle, resting the right shoulder onto the mat, resting the side of the head onto the mat. Think about pushing the back of your hand into the floor and then lifting the shoulder and pulling it away from that rooted hand, and then resting back down. You can keep the left hand on the mat or lift the left arm up toward the sky. You can bring that left hand to the low back or even drop the arm over the left ear, bringing the fingertips to a tent on the mat. Finding the position that feels right for you, and then thinking a little bit more about energetically pulling the shoulder away from the wrist and hand, and feel the stretch around the shoulder blade. And let's bring that left hand back to the mat if it isn't there already. Pressing into it, we'll lift up, sweeping the right arm up, and then floating the hand down. Just taking a moment to kind of notice how the shoulders feel, same or different. With the next inhale, let's sweep the left arm up by our ear, or excuse me, toward the sky. And exhale, threading the needle, left arm comes under the right, resting the left shoulder onto the mat, left side of the head rests down. Pressing the back of the left hand into the floor, we'll gently lift that left shoulder and pull it away from the hand, and then rest the shoulder and head back down. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, sweeping the right arm up toward the sky, leaving the arm here, or bringing the back of the right hand to the left hip, or dropping the right arm over the right ear, tenting the fingertips onto the mat. Finding the version that feels right for you. And then again, gently, energetically pulling that left shoulder back away from the wrist, lengthening the arm as well as stretching around the shoulder blade. And we'll bring that right hand back to the mat if it's not there already. Pressing into it, we'll lift the left arm up toward the sky, and then float it back down. And we'll come up to kneeling and work a little with camel pose today. So again, if you need to have some more padding underneath your knees, please add that because we will be putting a little more pressure on the knees. Having the knees about hip width apart so the hips are stacked over the knees, lifting the spine tall. Let's start with placing the hands on the low back. Rooting the knees into the floor, lift up through the crown of the head. Stay here if this feels like an active and engaged enough position for your body today. If you feel like you can do a little more with your next inhaling breath, lift the heart, gently arching. And as you exhale, lift up tall. Inhale, lift up and back. Exhale, lift up tall. I mixed up the breath. We need to, sorry, for camel, we're supposed to, oh, is that right? Sorry, now I've totally lost my train of thought with the breath. We'll just go with it. So you can keep working here, or again, just in that rooted position. Or if it feels okay, you could bring the hands back either with the heel toe tucked under, reaching to one heel and then the other, or you can also have the heels down low. Inhale, reaching back, and exhale, lifting up. I feel like that's wrong, but I can't not do it today for some reason. And if that feels good, you can stay here. Or if you'd like, you can also reach back with both hands onto the heels or even blocks, gently pressing the hips forward, opening the heart. Listening to your body, doing what feels right for it now. With your next inhaling breath, lift up tall, and we'll round forward into child's pose or reclined puppy. So bringing the hips to the heels or having the hips stacked over the knees. We'll extend the arms out in front of us or rest on forearms if you're in reclined puppy. Forehead resting on the mat or on the back of the hands or stacked fists or a block. Just allowing it to be connected somehow in order to release the back of the neck. As you rest the forehead, soften the muscles across the forehead, allowing the earth to receive any worries that are resting there. Breathe into the spine, creating space between the vertebrae. And then bringing the hands under the shoulders. With your next inhale, we'll roll the spine up one vertebrae at a time. Head comes up last. Shoulders up and back and down. Coming back into the kneeling position. Turn to face the long end of the mat if that feels okay for you. And we're going to reach the right leg out to the side. So working with gate pose. Left hip is stacked over the left knee, right hand resting on the leg. Your next inhale will sweep the right arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. And exhale, reach. This time, hold and breathe, rooting into that left knee, lifting up through the left shoulder and fingertips. So often in this particular pose, we feel like we're not getting very far because our bones and our body are in the way of reaching to the side. But it's a good reminder that we don't have to look in a particular way, but listen to what our body needs and can do in this moment. Really energetically opening the side of the body as well as muscularly. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And then we'll exhale, floating that left hand to the mat, floating the right arm up toward the sky. You could stay here, or if it feels okay, lift that right leg off of the floor, coming into a modified half moon, tucking the shoulders, lengthening the spine, pressing through the heel of the foot if it's lifted, Otherwise, just letting it rest gently and focusing on opening the heart, tucking the shoulder blades. We'll lower the leg down, lifting back up tall, and bring that right knee back in. And extending the left leg out to the side. Right hip is stacked over the right knee, left hand resting on the leg gently. With your next inhale, sweep the right arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. And exhale, reach. Again, rooting into the knee, lifting through the right shoulder, reaching through the fingertips, breathing into the right side of the neck. Sorry, the right side of the body, allowing the body to release anything it's holding. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. We'll float that right hand down to the mat, sweeping the left arm up toward the sky if that feels okay. Leaving the foot on the floor, or if it feels okay, lifting that left leg out to the side. Coming into that modified half moon. Shoulder blades tucked down the back, lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the neck. Somehow my right foot wants to cramp here, so I'm tucking my toes under. So if you feel that same kind of a cramping in the sole of your foot, go ahead and tuck your toes under and release that. I'm going to lower that left leg if it isn't already. Inhale, lifting up tall and floating the hands down. We'll bring that knee in, coming back to face the short end of our mat. We'll bring our hands to the floor, walking the hands a few inches away from the shoulders, tucking the toes under and pressing the hips up and back into downward dog. Softening our knees, pressing the hips back, rolling the shoulder blades back toward each other, externally rotating those arms. Head is between the arms with the chin gently away from the chest. And if it feels okay, you can let the heels gently float toward the mat. Keeping the knees soft, rooting through the palms of the feet and the palms of the hand and the soles of the feet. My feet slipped as I was talking, so distracted my brain. Lifting up through the sitting bones. Finding your balance in the center. Seeing if you can find a little less effort in the posture. Letting the body support you without working so hard. And we'll lower the knees down. And let's drop the right hip down. And then we'll extend that left leg out. And we'll turn the torso to face the left leg, flexing the foot. Again, actually softening the leg. Kind of notice what your leg does. Mine, as always, turns out. And so yours may turn in, yours may be pointing straight up. So it's what we want to think about as we move into the posture is the knee looking up toward the sky as well as the toes. So lengthening the spine, reaching through the heel. And as you exhale, gently fold over, hinging at the hip. Lengthening with the inhale, softening with the exhale. If you'd like to use a strap around the arch of the foot here as well, that is another option. Reaching back through the sitting bones, reaching away through the heel, softening through the back as you lower down. You may notice a feeling of pulling on the right hip, even as you're bending forward with the left, or even through the low back where that QL muscle attaches. Soften, honoring your body where it is. Pulling back gently if you need to. Knowing that wherever you are in this moment is just as you should be. Notice if there's anywhere you can let go just a little more. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. We'll bring the right hand a few inches away from the right hip. You can inhale, lifting the left arm up, opening the hip here. Or if it feels okay for your wrist and knee, you can lift up into crescent, tucking that right shoulder, breathing into the left side of the body. And then gently lowering down. We'll bring the left foot in, extend the right leg out. Turning our torso to face the right leg. Just taking a moment again to notice what your leg's tendency is. Is it to roll out, to point up, or to roll in? And then finding that centered, balanced place with the knee and the toes pointing up toward the sky. Fingertips on either side of the leg, lengthening the spine. As you exhale, hinging at the hip. Just tilting forward just as far as feels okay. Lengthening with the inhale. Softening through the exhale. Tuning in to the different messages your body is sending in this moment. Perhaps sending compassion and kindness back to your body. So much happens in our body without our even noticing that helps keep us alive. Noticing if there's anywhere else you can soften or gently release or offer kindness to. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. We'll bring the left hand a few inches away from the left hip. Inhale the right arm up by the ear and either reaching over the left side of the body or lifting up onto the wrist and knee, whatever feels right for you today. Might be different one side to the other as well. And then with your next exhale, lowering back down. We'll come back. Actually, let's have our legs spread a little wider. We'll bring the elbows into the thighs, working with a seated malasana. Think about softening around the hips, lengthening through the spine. Notice if the chin wants to jut out and gently draw it back toward the throat, lengthening the back of the neck. And then tune into the hips and see if there's anywhere you're kind of gripping. And you can send a message to that muscle in the body and allowing it to let go and release right now in this moment. And then we'll come back to a cross-legged position, lengthening the spine up tall. With your next inhale, reach the crown of the head toward the sky. And as you exhale, drop the right ear over the right shoulder. Right shoulder tucks back and down as you breathe into the left side of the neck. Heart stays lifted even though the head is tilted. And with your next inhale, come back to the center. Exhale the left ear over the left shoulder. Tuck the left shoulder back and down. Breathing into the right side of the neck. And with your next inhale, come back to center and let the breath go. Let's bend the knees, coming to the center of the mat. We'll tuck the hands behind the knees, around the spine. Gently roll back using the belly muscles. And then lifting the legs up toward the sky. You can rock your hands or a block underneath the hips to support the legs. Lengthen through the neck. Ankles and knees are relaxed. Soften the shoulders. And breathe into the belly. Also notice if your jaw or eyes or face muscles are tight, and gently soften them, giving them permission to let go in this moment. Gently bending your knees, rocking your hands or block out from underneath your hips. We'll hug the knees in toward the chest, rocking from side to side, or making small circles with the low back by bringing the knees in and out. And reversing those circles. And coming back to the center, arms out to the side, palms facing down, knees together, gently dropping the knees to the right, vision to the left. And with your next inhale, coming back to the center. And exhale, lowering the knees to the left, vision to the right. With your next inhale, coming back to the center, gently lowering the feet down, either walking the knees to the edge or the feet to the edges of the mat, resting the knees together, or extending the legs out into Shavasana. Making sure to cover up a little bit, adding bolster or blanket underneath the knees to support the low back if that feels better. And once your legs are in a comfortable place, allow the arms to rest slightly away from the body with the palms turned up. Tuck the shoulders back and down. Relax your forehead. Soften your eyes. Loosen your jaw. Gently bring your awareness back to the breath, allowing each inhale to fill you with a sense of peace and calm, allowing each exhale to release anything that no longer serves you. If you would like to receive Reiki during the rest of Shavasana, open yourself to it now. Allow the breath to bring you back to your heart center, reconnecting with the light and joy that always reside deep within your heart. Let each breath fill your heart with loving kindness for yourself, sending that loving kindness to each and every cell of your body, honoring all of who you are in this moment. Take a moment to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch in whatever way feels comfortable for you. When you're ready, you can gently bend your knees, roll to your side, and rest there for a moment. And then gently return to a seated position. We'll end with a metta blessing of loving kindness. Please feel free to join in. May all beings be happy. Nope, I mixed it up. My apologies. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings have peace. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. The light in me honors the light in you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. For our world, for our communities, and for ourselves. Thank you so much for taking time for yourselves today and joining me.